What it do, was good, YouTube? It's your boy Kevo Jr. and I'm back with another video. It's gonna be a quick one, man. I just wanted to get on here and talk about the season starting tonight and my thoughts on everything in the NBA, situations that's still going on, my predictions, and how I just think the overall season is gonna go. So let's get right into it. With opening night being tonight, we got two good matchups that I'm really excited to watch. The first one, we got the Lakers and the Nuggets, and then the second one later tonight is the Suns and the Warriors. These are two really good storylines, with the Lakers and the Nuggets having a little, I guess, animosity towards each other since last Western Conference Finals, so a rematch of that, and a little back and forth with Nuggets coach Michael Malone and just Lakers players overall. I think that'll be a great matchup for the Nuggets on their ring night. And then with the Suns and Warriors, we have a great storyline with Chris Paul making his Warriors debut against his former team that he went to the finals with just a few years ago, and the introduction to the Suns' newest big three. I know they said Bradley Beal is unlikely to play tonight with a back injury, and then Devin Booker is 50-50 with a toe injury, I believe. So we might be missing a few guys, but regardless, we got KD and a brand new Suns roster with a new coach, new everything, against a sort of newer Warriors team. So that'll be pretty good. And then on Wednesday, we got basically the rest of the NBA kicking off their season. We got some marquee matchups. My Celtics going to New York to play the Knicks. We got the Cavs and the Nets. That'll be a fun one. Timberwolves Raptors. We have Anthony Edwards 2023 debut. I'm expecting a huge season out of him versus a newer Raptors team, some new players on their team, but overall the same main guys. Trailblazers Clippers. Scoot Henderson debut versus a crazy Clippers team. Hopefully they can stay healthy. Wemby's debut on ESPN later that night against Kyrie and Luka, their first full year together. So we got a nice slate for the first week of the season, man. It's a lot of great matchups, some debuts. So it's a lot of things to look forward into. But going back onto the debuts, we had a few crazy trades this year. One of them being the biggest trade in the past few years. We have Dame finally leaving Portland, going to team up with Giannis in Milwaukee. That'll be super fun to watch. Dame is probably one of my favorite players of all time. Sadly, he had to go to the Bucks, but better than the Heat, whatever it was. But that trade was crazy. I'm excited to see how that team will work out. That's probably the one duo that I can say of a few that really complement each other. We always see duos with just like two super scoring guards that really don't complement each other. They just take turns trading baskets. This is the one duo that I can say they can play off of each other the entire game, give defenses nightmares. So that's going to be really fun to watch. But that trade had a snowball effect, and we saw players like Jrue Holiday being traded twice. DeAndre Ayton was in the trade. Jusuf Nurkic was in the trade going to the Suns. But the Celtics' new pickups from that trade and from another trade, I'm really excited about. We got Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. We saw a few of our players that we love, Robert Williams, Marcus Smart, who's been with the Celtics probably the past 9 years. Those two finally got moved. It was time for the Celtics, I think, to make a big splash. They had been really running it back and adding a few guys here and there for the past 3-4 years now. And they made a big move that many didn't expect, but I think it's going to work really well. Porzingis complements this offense to a T. He can stretch it outside and he can shoot threes. He can pick and roll, pick and pop. And it leaves us with a little discrepancy at center, but I'm not too much worried about it. And on defense, Jrue Holiday and Porzingis both, it's going to be crazy, man. Derek White and Jrue Holiday on the perimeter, two of the best on-ball defenders in the league. And Porzingis was a sneaky good defender last year. He was a great rim protector. He's 7'3", so blocking shots isn't really that hard for him. But I'm really excited for this. But overall, I think it's going to work out, but we'll just have to see at the start of the season. And for the other team that was affected by this Dame trade and even made a trade some months back is the Phoenix Suns. They have a brand new roster overall besides with KD and Book. Everybody really is new. They acquired Bradley Beal, former All-Star, All-NBA player, great scorer, and Jusuf Nurkic. They traded DeAndre Ayton basically for Nurkic and some other pieces in that Dame trade. And I remember after the Bradley Beal trade, they really gave up a lot of their bench assets, and people were confused how that bench was going to work, how they were going to round out their bench. But they made it work through some more trades and free agent signings, some great free agent signings. And now they have really a pretty good roster. Eric Gordon, Watanabe, that played with KD in Brooklyn. So I think it's going to be one of the best offenses of all time, in my opinion. But how many times have we seen a hyper scoring duo or trio actually win a championship? And probably the only outlier recently would be the 2021 Nets. If Kyrie didn't hurt his ankle, KD's foot wasn't on the line versus the Bucks. But other than that, we always see these duos and trios get put together, and all they can really do is score and just tag team off each other, taking turns shooting. So I'm really interested to see like the element of those three together. It's going to be hard to stop all three. They're probably going to average maybe over 70, 80 points per game amongst the three. So you can't doubt that. You can't lie about that. The offense is going to be great. But they moved off DeAndre Ayton, which many were confused off of. But Ayton I wasn't really that high on. High contract. Moved off of that for Nurkic, who's I guess not really a better scorer. He's a decent scorer. He's definitely a worse defender than Ayton. So it's a little confusing off that, but I get why they wanted to move off of Ayton with his relationship with the rest of the Suns and the front office and things like that. So I'm really excited to see this team play. They play tonight. That'll be a great game. KD, Book, Beal, you can't go wrong with that trio. So regardless, it's going to be fun to watch. Another situation I want to talk about real quick is James Harden and the Sixers and the Clippers, whatever's going on with that. I think it's time for Harden to leave. He's probably done with the Sixers. I think it's time for both of them to part ways. It looks like the Clippers is a most likely destination, the only team that's really in the running for Harden. I think that'll get done hopefully soon to get this all over with, because Harden, he looks done. The Sixers, I guess, look done. And B looks done. The Clippers, they need to make a move now. This is probably one of the last few years they have to push for a championship. And adding Harden would help that. Him, Westbrook, PG, Kawhi, those four, that's going to make a good group to make a running in the West, a stacked Western Conference. The West got really good this summer. They didn't really make any other moves. I guess the thing that's stopping them from trading from Harden is Terrence Mann, who they think is some upcoming whatever. He's 27 years old. I think it's time for him to be moved, at least for Harden. Hall of Famer, former All-Star, somebody that's going to really help get your superstars with PG and Kawhi open looks. So hopefully that gets resolved soon, which I'm sure it will, because I'm assuming the Sixers don't want to go into the season with this type of situation like with Ben Simmons, and kind of want to get their assets and get ready for this stretch, this playoff push, even though they're not going to probably go that far, but you know how that go. This year's draft saw one of the best drafts, in my opinion, in the past few years. I think it has the potential to be one of the best drafts maybe ever. We have some great pieces like Wemby, Thompson twins, Scoot Henderson, Brandon Miller, and other guys. And I just wanted to touch on some of my favorite rookies and some other rookies to look out for. Of course, we got Victor Wembanyama. I'm as high on him as anybody else, probably. I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer, one of the best players ever. He's a freak athlete, 7'4", 7'5", doing things that guards and small forwards do. So you already know how he's going to be. I'm not going to touch on him too much, but I'm really excited to see how he works in the NBA against other physical guys. So, and another rookie that was drafted not this year, but the year before, but didn't play at all last season, Chet Holmgren. He's also going to be a stud, another 7-footer who's moving like a guard. Great defender, great shot blocker. I'm really excited to see him work with the upcoming OKC Thunder team with Shea and Giddey and Jalen Williams. That'll be really fun to watch. And then my favorite rookies to look out for, of course, you got the Thompson twins. I think they're going to be great players, freak athletes, both tools, a work in progress, but over time I think they'll be crazy. Scoot Henderson, of course, replacing Dame in Portland. No expectations, just gets to hoop for the next few years. I think he'll grow into a great point guard. And then some other guys, Bilal Coulibaly. I think he's going to be a future all-defensive player, a great defender, one of the best defenders in the league. And then Keontae George, my favorite guard in this draft. He's a stud, a great scorer, great combo guard. I think he's going to be really good too. And the final thing I want to touch on real quick is a few players that I think will make that next jump this upcoming season. Basically my agendas this season. It's a few players. The first one, Paolo Banchero. We saw him this summer in the World Cup. He got a lot of experience playing with and against some great players. I think his experience playing at the 5 that Steve Kerr had him do that'll benefit him as well, playing against bigger guys, getting past them, working against them. I think he'll be around the 22 to 23 points per game score this year, so he'll make that jump. Next, everybody knows Anthony Edwards. Everybody's on board about him being MVP, this and that. I don't know if he'll get to that level, but he should make that jump that can carry the Timberwolves to a top 6-7 seed in the West, and hopefully make a little run in the playoffs, because he's one of the best players in the league, super fun to watch. And that'll be really cool to see him take a small market Minnesota team to that next level. So next, Tyrese Maxey. When and if Harden gets traded, I think he will get traded, Maxey should take that jump as a starting point guard, not the 2 guard, off ball, none of that. Starting point guard next to Joel Embiid. I expect him to be around the 20 to 22 points per game score without Harden, taking more shots, more volume for him, and more touches. And I think he's ready for that next level. And lastly is Jordan Poole. Everybody knows a trade with Chris Paul. He's going to Washington. No expectations. They're going to be dirt garbage, but he's going to get to score, shoot whatever he wants basically every night. He should be amongst, I won't say the highest points per game scores, but he will make that jump. He averaged 20 next to Steph Curry, so imagine him just by himself with his own team. So I think he'll be one of those guys to make that jump. So I think that'll do it for the rest of this video, my 2023-24 NBA season preview. Everybody's excited. I'm excited. This is going to be a great season. Some great teams and great players to look out for, man. I think I'm going to post on my Twitter about my full previews of the standings in each conference, MVPs, Rookie of the Years, all the awards, the All-NBA and the All-Rookie teams, and of course how I think the playoffs is going to go and who's going to win the championship and all that. I think I'm going to post it on my Twitter. I'll drop my Twitter right here. Y'all can follow that. I post all season long. It's going to be a great season, man. Appreciate y'all for watching this video, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.